Welcome back and thank you very much. It's TV3Newday. Join us with your thoughts and comment. Hashtag is TV3Newday on Twitter. And we'll be happy to share your thoughts and comments with the rest of the wonderful world. My guest in studio, lawyer Kwame Jantwa. He is the head of the political committee of CPP. Political Affairs Committee, sorry about that, of the CPP. And also lawyer Abraham Amalba. He is the head of the NDC's legal team. Is also a member of the National Communications team. So before the break...
But Johnny, there's a text meant for you from an international security expert. He works with the UN.
Okay.
He's my friend. He says that kindly advise your host, Johnny, to avoid honorary invitations to unknown persons in vehicles. It is dangerous.
Okay, I hear you. But this person is
somebody you know.
I know from school. So... well, advice well taken. It's a good
The fact that you know somebody from school doesn't mean the person won't hurt you.
It's true.
If they're against what
you're saying. Well. Maybe before we end, I'll put out the name and add something else that he said, and I'll let the Ghana police so that...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I will do that before we go. So stay with us and you'll find out. But E-Levy is set to take off on Sunday, the 1st of January. We've been having text messages from some banks. My bank, for example, has sent also a message suggesting that wallet to wallet and bank to wallet transactions will be affected. We were told expressly that it will not be affected. But again, I don't think that the GRA has gone to the banks to insist that this is not what we discussed. But there's also the conversation about what Sam George said earlier, some advice he gave to the GRA. And now the GRA is considering that, doing a face-to-face or a face-by-face implementation of that specific levy. Malaba, I'll start this one with you. What's on your mind?
What is on my mind is the lawlessness exhibited by the GRA. You are aware that there's an injunction application pending at the Supreme Court against the GRA.
Right.
And the Attorney General has been served, the GRA has been served. Now, the conduct of the GRA boss, Amish Adai,
right,
is, to say the least, nauseating, because if a matter is in court and you have been served, what you do is to give respect to the processes filed in court. But I've heard him time without number say that they are going ahead, and then Sunday, as you've indicated, they are going ahead to implement it. And you see, that is where my statement that under this administration, state institutions have become compromised. State institutions that are supposed to be working in the interest of the people rather see their umbilical cord tied to the administration of Nana Akufo-Addo. Why would a GRA boss, knowing that he has been served with a court process, nonetheless, show disregard to the process and say, I'm going to continue? I find it extremely difficult to appreciate this because, look, we have had a situation where state institutions have been sued and they stay their hands off. I remember Afenyo Markins sent the EC to court. In fact, the EC had already finished preparing for this assembly elections.
Right.
And a fisherman in his constituency stopped the process. They could have also gone ahead and said, look, you are only one person. But at the time, the rule of law was working. Is it the case that because of the so much lawlessness and disregard for our laws under this administration, that's why the GRA boss is so confident and doing what he's doing? It is sad that if you are a student of democracy, and he said that, look, we have become a laughing stock because people who knew Ghana to be the beacon of our democracy will be worried about what is happening internally. Will be worried. But Sam George kept saying that, look, GRA is not ready. In fact, Sam George kept indicating the loopholes in the implementation of this E-Levy. The Amin Shaddai once again said, oh, no, there's nothing wrong. But you know, this morning or yesterday, they are saying that they are going to do what? A revised implementation or a staggering, I don't know what the name is. In phases. Right. It goes a long way to buttress Sam George's point that, look, you've not even done all the technical things. What is the haste? Why are you in a hurry? In fact, they could have, if they were law-abiding, and if they were, I don't want to use the word reasonable, because it will be like an insult. But somebody will say, I've already used it. But you see?
Of course you have.
You see? They could have just hidden under the law and said, look, there's an injunction, so we can't go ahead. And within that period, use that period to fix all these problems. But you see, there's a certain man called Nana Akufo-Addo. What he wants, his will is law. So even if Amin Shaddai wants to, a delay to ensure that he fixes this problem, that man, that monarch, will not allow him. So that's the problem that we have. You also know that the telcos are even saying that they are not ready yet. I don't know what you heard them.
The chamber.
The
right.
chamber.
Ashigbe.
They are not ready yet. But see the speed and the rush in which they are implementing it. So, country block, country no block, with all the inside. But the situation...
Will the GRA be in contempt of court if they go ahead on Sunday?
They would be...
While the injunction is still in force?
They would be because, even though there are two schools of thought, that if an injunction is filed, it is not an order of injunction. And so, because of that, you can still go ahead and do what you are doing. But if what you are doing would render the suit nugatory, that at the end of the day, if the person wins the case, what you are asked to stop, you still go ahead and do it. Then, if he wins the case, there's nothing for him to hold. In that case, you'll be asked to stop.
I hear you. Thanks for the education. Let's take a look at this, and we'll bring Kwame Jan to our end.
The reason why they are unable to roll it out is not the reason they are giving. It's not the inability of the charging entity or the preparedness of the charging entity. It is the unpreparedness of the GRA to provide the charging entities the requisite connection within the required time frame to do the work. As we speak, some of the API connections for reversals and other things that are needed for the smooth interoperability process to kick in have not even been given to the telcos or the charging entities. So how do you blame the charging entities for your inability to give them the requisite APIs that they... What the GRA wanted was anybody who was doing any transaction across the country, across all the various networks and EMI and charging entities, you had a threshold of 100 Ghana cedis for mobile money and 20,000 cedis for bank account. And so if I did 70 cedis on my MTN Momo and did 50 cedis on my Airtel Tigo, it would be able to read across the platform and say that I had done 120 cedis. And we said to them, those interconnections, you've not given us the necessary framework or connections, APIs to do those connections. Now they've come back to agree that we should do it on net, meaning it would be charged on only transactions on the network.
Sam George is the Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram constituency. Council, this is what Sam George has said, but also GRA has reviewed the targets from 6.9, the initial one, to 4.5 because
targets in terms of what
we're expecting, yes.
So that's billion cedis.
Exactly, billion cedis because of the delays and also because the initial percentage from 1.7 to 1.5 and then that's what they're talking about now.
Just to take it from the point...
the injunction.
Yeah, the injunction that Council brought up. Somebody sent me a message to say to you.
Okay.
This is a lawyer friend of mine. Can you please make the point clear to the host that Nana-Addo has made state institutions more powerful than the courts?
Wow.
Because you see, what I don't understand, we all know there's an injunction which is happening on the 4th.
That's right.
This is supposed to be implemented on the 1st. What's the rush? What's the rush? Let the injunction go through. Let's hear what the courts have to say. And we take it from there. How many days? 3 days.
3 days.
And we know there are certain things that haven't been done. You have now, and you see, this is the challenging point. At the beginning of this exercise, the finance minister says we're going to get between 6 and 7 billion cedis a year.
6.9
billion cedis a year. We're now revising it to what?
4.5 because of the delay.
So because of the delay, you're losing 2 billion cedis. I'll use Amalbe's word. Is that reasonable? When you look at the argument that because of the challenges we are facing, that means the challenges are huge. If we are to compare it to the amounts of money that we are supposed to earn, what is the rush? Yes, the president said he was determined to make sure E-Levy goes through. Okay, it's been passed. The operational side of it is where the question is. Now, the bit where you talked about transfer,
right? Wallet to wallet.
That wallet to wallet, that you can be charged. Now,
that's what the banks are saying, but GRA is saying a different thing. So why are the banks? My question is, why are the banks saying one thing, and why is GRA saying another?
So probably you'll be able to educate me. Some of the things that the areas that they've talked about, the E-Levy, where you won't have to pay E-Levy, it's got to do with transfers.
That's right.
And it says transfers between accounts owned by same person. If you are sending money to your own account, you will not be charged the E-Levy, provided your bank or mobile number accounts are linked with your Ghana card.
That's right.
I asked the question, is this legal? If you want all my accounts to be linked to my Ghana card, isn't it possible that whatever transaction I do, authorities will know? Are they not eating into my own private account to know what I'm using my money for? Is that legal?
Following your money.
Yes, following your money. I think the question is, why aren't we able to put an effective system in place where taxation is concerned? And this is an indirect tax. You cannot determine how much you're going to get with an indirect tax. Maybe VAT, but even VAT, some people pay, some people don't pay.
Right.
So the actual tax, direct tax, is where we should put a system together. And situations like this, you need everybody around the table. You need everybody, stakeholders around the table. We know that direct tax is a huge challenge for us. How have other countries done it? Let's sit together as a country and let's try and stem this. Because indirect taxes, you cannot determine your revenue with indirect taxes. Right now, we said 6.9 billion. Yeah. They are now telling us that 4.5 billion. How do you even know that at the end you get the 4.5 billion? Well, do you know the number of people who are going to go off Momo?
Well, the GRA acknowledges that there will be some level of a shake at the beginning before it picks up. And
you're sure to pick up?
Well, that's what they are saying. That's what the GRA is anticipating.
I've said this before, and I'll say it again. The Achilles heel of the NDC was Dumso. The Achilles heel of the MPP will be E-Levy.
You are sure?
Yes. You think it will pick up? With the challenges that the city is facing, with the challenges of fuel, with the challenges of food, with the challenges of people being able to make life easy for themselves. You think it will pick up again? I doubt it.
Well, but people have developed an appetite for Momo.
Haven't we developed an appetite for so many things? Haven't we? We have developed an appetite for buying pizza. Do you think those companies are going to make money in this time? Everybody is going to cut back. And if my little money that I put on Momo to help me do my business is going to be taxed and is going to withdraw money out of it, do you think it will come back? Well, the jury is out. I might be wrong, but I don't see it. I don't see how it's going to come back.
The numbers of people who do not have their national ID cards, which is, a prerequisite for this linkage and for which reason you will be exempted from some of the deductions, are huge, which is why the Ministry for Communications and Digitalization had to give a deadline, extend the deadline from now till July. Now, the collection of this tax is starting on Sunday. So automatically, those people who do not have their Ghana card will be paying more or will not have the benefit of these exemptions. Is that what it means?
Yeah, but the thing, yeah, exactly. If you don't have the Ghana card, and if your bank accounts are not linked to the Ghana card, you pay. You're not part and parcel of this,
the exemption.
Of the exemption.
And the 100.
Yes,
Right.
you're not part and
Or
parcel
if you
of
like, from your bank account to your wallet.
It says bank account to wallet.
Yes.
Bank account to wallet. Transfers between accounts owed by same person. If you are sending money to your own account, you will not be charged the E-Levy provided your bank or mobile money accounts are linked with your Ghana card. So if you don't have a Ghana card and you're doing this kind of transfer, you pay.
You pay more.
Yes. You pay.
From taxation.
And these are the things that, need to be told Ghana. It shouldn't, you see, we shouldn't have the impression that government is trying to find a way to usurp money off us.
Do you see government being desperate? Is government desperate?
They said we don't have money, didn't they?
That's
so
what
definitely they are desperate. They should tell us where we stand with our finances. They should come clean. Ghanaians, today, A, B, C, D, E is where we are. We don't have X, we don't have Y, we can't do this. So, let's come together and help resolve some of these issues. But not with one voice say one thing, another voice say another thing. They should be able to tell. Yes, he just said, but you have to bite the bullet. They should tell us. Between now and 2023, 2024, the quantum of loans we are going to take is X. Because the Minister of Agriculture, what did he say to us? Is the government going to stop loans? They should tell, look, let's be part and parcel of the governance by communicating with us. And this is where I keep saying, the president should open up. Yesterday was a huge opportunity to say to us, yes, we've had 30 years of this constitution. There are pitfalls in the constitution. Perhaps we've got to the stage where we need to look at it again. Once upon a time, he says he won't touch the constitution. Now he says it's a living document. So the possibility is there. And for me, I don't understand why he talked about only one thing, 55.3. Yeah. And for me, I think he talked about 55.3 because of a certain interest.
But questions have been raised again about his fixation on Article 55.3, which would call for a referendum. And because that is yoked with his initial promise that in 2 years, after he comes to power by 2 years, we would have the power to elect our own MMDCs. That is dependent on Article 2431.
Yes.
Which can be done in Parliament, just
yes.
like another bill.
Yes.
But 55.3 requires a referendum. And because the NDC disagreed with it, and many other CSOs, he asked Ajay Alima Mahama to go and withdraw that bill because people said we don't want to elect our MMDCs on partisan basis. So he gave a promise, he gave a timeline, but the process, the procedure, was what he did not agree with.
Who is he supposed to have consensus with? Is it Parliament or the people?
Oh, the people.
The people. The people. So if he tells us yesterday that he's going to work towards it and he's going to bring it back, who is he going to work with? Is he working with Parliament or is he working with the people? The people, nearly 80% of Ghanaians say, we want DCEs elected. Is he not supposed to listen to us?
But he's saying that, well, since 1992, records show that voter turnout is 72%, one of the highest in the world, he says. So that would translate to mean that the people have always wanted to vote on partisan political lines, which is why he is insisting, after withdrawing this and bringing it the thought back for
and
conversation
that
we should have it
and
done
that
at the
where
local
local
level.
elections are concerned,
We should
voter
have
turnout,
NDC and NPP.
voter turnout has been 30%.
30%. you
Are we not supposed to educate the people? Look, there has to be a balance. Partisan politics has gone into every nook and cranny of our lives in this country. We need a balance where the people also have their own power. It would be great if we have that balance.
But you
It would be great.
Hey, oh,
you see, Article 55(3) does not talk about election of MMDCs. It doesn't. So if you want to...
it talks about the referendum.
Yes, it talks about the fact that you cannot engage in partisan politics at the district assembly level.
That's right.
Yes. You can do it at the national level, but at the district assembly level, you are not allowed to
And
do
that's
it.
what the president wants to bring on.
But the president is talking about consensus. And yet, his approach is one of an entrenched position. What is the entrenched position? It must be on partisan lines.
Right.
The election must be on partisan lines.
Yeah.
That's an entrenched position. You can't be calling for consensus and you are going to the table with an entrenched position. Then we also have Ghanaians. There's a survey, CDC survey, which says that about 70% say that yes, they want their DCs to be elected,
Right.
but on non-partisan basis.
Right.
There are some of us who talk about gradualism. First, can you deal with the election of MMDCs on non-partisan lines?
Right.
Because this survey says that people want it that way. Then when we get it, when we practice it for some time, then you can now bring in whether we want to make it partisan or not partisan. But this president is so entrenched.
Because I remember the promise in 2016 vividly did not have this angle of partisan political, twist. I remember vividly
That we were just going to elect
we're
our
just going to
MMDCs,
give opportunity to
MMDCs.
elect our MMDCs
Yes.
because they were not accountable to the people.
Yes.
They were accountable to the central government and the president particularly.
Particularly.
So he wants to give people a chance to have control of their MMDCs like they do of their MPs.
Yeah.
So this new twist for me is quite surprising.
Yes, but you know the reasons why even the National House of Chiefs are all against politicizing our local level. Because, look, at the national level, it has been so polarized. And it is so, you see it is so divisive that you don't want to send that to the local level. The old lady in the village must feel comfortable walking to the district assembly and not branded NDC. So that he can get access to whatever social amenities there are. But when you politicize it, see, even under COVID, food was given to people on partisan basis. Under COVID, when people are dying, food was shared on partisan basis. And so when you politicize the local level, you cut away majority of the people.
Okay.
And then the district assembly will now be focused on their own people. That is what we don't want
Johnny,
to happen.
Before you go, there's history.
Right.
There's history. In the days of the NLM and the CPP, do you know what happened in Ashanti? Do you know what happened to communities? Because of the strong stance both sides had. The Molotov cocktails that were killing people. Is that what we want? I mean, these constitutional elections of the MPP has shown us
Right.
that we do not want that. So why is the president entrenched with this? Not unless he has his own agenda.
We are just going to multiply the
I see.
violence.
But Mr. Jantua, fuel prices, have they gone up already?
They said
they'll go up?
3%.
Yes. Yesterday, a friend of mine from Shell sent me, and they said Total will go up yesterday, and then Shell will follow today. 3%. Are you aware?
Yes, I'm aware.
Are you shocked? Are you surprised?
Yes, because I thought they said they had given a certain quota to BDCs in terms of foreign exchange so that they don't have to go through the normal foreign exchange. Why is it going up? They say it's because of international prices. We've got to find a way around this thing. And for me, the way around it is to get toll working and not to refine our own. That's the way around it.
Okay. Lawyer Kwame Jantua is also a member of PIAC. And he used to be former
vice chair.
Former vice, and now he's the head of the political committee.
Political Affairs Committee.
Political Affairs
and
Committee,
chairman
forgive
of
me.
the Oil and Gas Sector AGI.
Yeah. So it's a big man.
I'm not joking.
And lawyer Abraham Amalba is the head of the NDC's legal team and is also a member of the National Communications team. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time this morning. Dr. Baumia is somewhere in the Insuta area, Asiri area.
What's he doing there?
Well, the Adwa Rubber Company is being set up today. It's been launched today. Rubber plantation, the Adwa Rubber Plantation, together with Bishop Daniel Toto. He will be there with Abujina Paul, Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, also with Reverend John Intim Forjo and many others to launch that one.
Are we exporting the rubber? We're adding value to it.
Well, the factory is not going to be outdoors, so we'll see what's going to happen. The plantation and the factory, we'll see what will happen. But happy birthday to Mrs. Favor Solan. This is from Amos Solana and yourself. Who's yourself? I don't know you. Happy birthday in advance to Daniel Kweku and San Nyampong. And also this from Mr. and Mrs. Okutu. And to Dr. Kobe Mensah of the University of Ghana Business School. It's your birthday today. Happy birthday to you. And Percy, did you send something? It's not sure. You don't have data, Percy. Percy doesn't have data. Well, but thank you very much indeed for watching. A happy birthday. Well, I did it already. We'll see you after the break.